All right. Welcome again. Good morning to everyone. I see all of you here. Now I see people woken up. 300 of you finally awake. Thank the Lord for that. Johan is in the house. Evelyn, Dee Dee, Karen, Patricia, all the usual suspects. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road because it is party time. Good morning, Shamari.
Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing?
Welcome. Now, first of all, everybody knows that Tuesday is Medical Rundown Tuesdays. Health City is here, always sharing amazing information with us. But today is an extra special day because we are celebrating. So tell us what we're celebrating.
Well, we are here. Well, first of all, I need to ask what part of your family I am, seeing as you have a CMR family.
Hey,
and
we got you. We're all in here.
Yeah, I'm that brother that sits in the back of the class or what?
with Johan.
That's funny because anytime I'm not here, people are sending me messages, screenshotting what Johan's saying.
About what he's saying.
I don't know what to do with him, but anyway.
Yeah. He's a troublesome clown in the classroom for sure.
but no, it's great to be here. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary as Health City. And it's really exciting just to think that, a day ago, people were wondering, what is this facility? What will it be? Even I recall when I was obviously leaving tourism, and my sister was an intern, and for whatever reason, people didn't quite make the connection. And she was in a hazard management meeting with some senior enough people from the medical community, and she could overhear them talking about the fact that, Mark have gone off his rockers to go all the way up East End. Give it 2 years, he'll be back with government. But it's always good to know that obviously people couldn't really perceive what Health City would be. 10 years strong, to see the brand we have, to see how strong it is throughout the Caribbean and Central America, to be here, to have saved many lives, which is the most important part.
Yes.
To be a household name, even though depending on the segment of the population, yes, we're Health City, but to others, we will always be the Shady Hospital, right?
Yes.
So we're here, we're going strong. We achieved so many firsts across not only the Cayman Islands, but in the Caribbean as well. And we're now a part of the Cayman Islands. And I'll always remember when I knew we made it was when there was Rundown, and Health City was a segment of Rundown. And I said, okay, we're here to stay if you make it within Rundown. So I'm just excited to be here. We have gifts as well today for the viewing populace, that we maybe have 1 or 2 questions. So make sure persons are listening in. We'll ask 1 or 2 questions. And then if we're feeling generous enough, we may even be more than that. But it's just great to be here knowing that Dr. Shed, he always says a solution is not a solution if it isn't affordable. And being the physician for Mother Teresa, which a lot of people would have forgotten, but we're going to retell that story, how she found him just based on the impact he was making in the world, especially with children, that she found him and she wanted to make sure that he could extend his vision to the world. And what we're showing is in, not the cheapest jurisdiction, but you would consider a high cost jurisdiction, we're able to offer the highest level of medical care, highest level of quality. And when Dr. comes on, we can also speak to all of the quality indicators, which are a fraction of what you would find, for instance, in the US, to not only make that available to Caymanians and residents, but to our neighboring countries as well. And then extend that into our charitable care, for which we've helped to save thousands of children as well.
Well, thank you so much for that reminder. And it's one of those historic moments. We're going to bring on Dr. Benoit here in just a second. But it's kind of one of those historic moments now where you think, where was I when Health City got started? And I actually I remember I came to the grand opening because my now sister-in-law She's an emergency care nurse, and she was in Jamaica at the time. Now she's in the US. But, I was telling her about this amazing facility that was coming online in the Cayman Islands. And she wanted to see it. So she's like, you know what? I'm planning a visit anyway. This is an opportune time to come and visit. And we actually came to the grand opening together. So, I can't believe that it has been 10 years since her visit, because that was the last time that she was here as well. So I was saying to her the other day, I kind of marked her visit, her initial visit by that landmark. I'm like, hey, it's time for you to come back.
And it was so interesting that when I first had to go into rooms, just based on being in tourism, I could speak to directors of tourism, ministers of tourism, in order to get into the room with the health ministers in other Caribbean countries. They're like, listen, I don't know what this is about, but this is Shamari. He was from tourism. You need to give him a meeting. And it went from the side eye and who are you and what are you doing, to after a year or two going into meetings, and there's like, wait, isn't this the facility that had the first artificial heart in the Caribbean? Well, yes. Aren't you the facility that had the first LVAD? You guys are the ones that are. So it was just interesting to see that change over time. And now it went from side eye to, wait, you're that exciting facility doing all those firsts, to, can you bring this to our country, please? Can you please here and help with our healthcare, which in different ways we help in different countries, but it's just great to see that progression over time, and Health City becoming solidified in the Caribbean as the go-to place for anything that's very complex from a medical perspective, as well as obviously everything else.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Jordan, Tiffany, Alexandra, Denise, Daisy. We're aware of the little issue with the radio. I've just messaged technical support on the other side, and they have restarted it. I did see that it dropped out twice this morning at exactly 4 minutes and 59 seconds. So hopefully the restart on their end should resolve it. Shamari, give me one quick second. Let me just play a solid music clip so that we can make sure we're back on radio.
Okay, no problem.
All right, folks, we are back. I'm going to keep an eye on that. And thank you guys again for alerting me and letting me know, because that's in another window tab and I'm not always staring at that window. So I appreciate you guys being my eyes and ears. And as we say here in the program, my co-hosts, right? You guys are amazing. So thank you so much, Jordan, and everybody else who was paying attention to that. So let's go ahead and invite Dr. Benoit onto the program as well. His name is synonymous with Health City Cayman Islands. When you hear Health City Cayman Islands, you also hear, or you think immediately of Dr. Benoit and his amazing team that he's leading there at Health City. So Dr. Benoit, can you believe that it's been 10 years? I mean, it seems unbelievable.
Yeah, time flies, Sandy. It's as you told, just started yesterday, Shamari, when we first met in Grand Pavilion.
Right.
It's like just yesterday. It's really amazing. 10 years, a lot happened, a lot changed, a lot to do. Yeah, it's really, really very, very happy and very proud at the same time.
And Dr. Benoit would have thought that he was going to be here for what, 2 or 3 years?
2 years. Came with the idea of stay here only for 2 years now.
Amazing.
But he would have realized quickly what we had here, what we needed to build. And obviously, Dr. Benoit, we're very pleased to have him just based on the expertise that he has, obviously the practice that he had in India, and the fact that, but when Dr. Shetty speaks to you and tells you his vision, even though you may not believe, especially Dr. Benoit, he would have seen when Dr. Shetty says something that more times than not, it comes to fruition. And he believed, made that leap, came here and has helped us see it through every stage. And now this is like obviously his baby as well. And we have a group of physicians that would have come from the very start that in it, from when we were, Dr. Benoit, remember when we were walking through the halls and there were no patients whatsoever?
Yeah, yes.
Right?
No, not anymore. No, yes.
And now we're at times where we have to figure out how to make room to get extra beds, which is obviously one of the reasons why we'll talk about the new Camana Bay facility that we have coming on board as well. But I remember walking through the halls, and there would have been a gentleman at that point in time who was next to us, and his name was Scott, and he was from Ascension Health, which when we started was our partner from the US. And he said, Shamari and Dr. Benoit, remember these halls being empty, because once it starts and once you guys prove your quality, which I know you will because I've seen it firsthand, these halls will never be empty again. So appreciate the quiet while you can. And sure enough, 10 years later, here we are doing great things. Dr. Benoit has many additional physicians and staff members. We're over 350 staff members now, Dr. Benoit.
Yes.
Wow. And I was actually saying last week to my listeners about how, despite the fact that you guys are busy, how well organized it was when I went and did my colonoscopy. I mean, it was like, everybody knew what they needed to do, and there was no confusion, and verifying my ID and what procedure I was there for, taking me into the pre-op area. Everything just flowed extremely well. And, anytime you have to do a procedure, of course, there's an element of nervousness that comes with that, even if it's just a colonoscopy. Like, I've never had one done before. So, of course, I was a bit nervous, and it just, went so incredibly well. And you have the doctors who are not just good from a medical and professional perspective, so they're well educated, they actually know their stuff, but they have good bedside manners as well. And that's really, really important. When you're a patient, you want someone who's understanding and who, just has the right type of personality, attitude. All of that really does make a significant difference. So, folks, if you're just tuning into the program, we are celebrating 10 years. Looks like the radio issue is resolved. We're now 6 minutes and a half into this last segment, so that's fantastic. But we are talking about Health City now celebrating some 10 years of service here in the Cayman Islands. So we're going to bring in another doctor into the program. His name is Dr. Doug. Now, as a disclaimer, he's not a medical doctor. Dr. Doug, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Dr. Benoit, good to see you.
Yeah. Good morning, Doug.
How are you,
nice
sir?
to see you.
Yeah,
really
there's
good.
so many
Nice to see you.
success stories, Shamari, that I'm sure it's difficult when you're celebrating 10 years to pick out, just one or two of those success stories to share with our listeners. But Dr. Doug happens to be one of those amazing stories where, he's going to tell us a little bit here in a second. We've got a video clip that we'll play as well, where essentially his life was saved by the good folks over at Health City. So let's watch the video. And then Dr. Doug, you can give us a little bit of information about who you are.
By the way, Sandy, two times, not
two
once,
times.
Twice.
Wow. This is truly amazing. Let's have a look at this video, folks.
It's Rooster 101. You got Dr. Doug here in the afternoon, back after a successful heart surgery at Health City for a number of months in early 2018. I noticed that I was starting to develop a shortness of breath with just regular activity. Time was ticking. on my heart valve. At that point, the heart valve was blocked. I was at about 80% blockage at that point, and they were concerned that if I let it go much longer, that the consequences could be death, possibly in a short amount of time. It's a gift that we have right here for the size of an island to have like this, to have such world-class healthcare as far as heart care is concerned here is amazing, and the level of care is second to none. Now I feel like a new man. Thank you to the doctors at Health City. I'm back playing country music on Rooster 101.
All right. So, Dr. Doug, as you're known around the island, tell us a little bit what happened. Give us some of the details of what happened to you.
I am not probably I love sharing the story, Sandra, because, it is so personal to me in sharing it of what not to do. And I know, we hear a lot about men, especially, who put things off. And I think I've heard you talk about it on a show a while back, how women and men are a little different when they come to the medical stuff, and putting off appointments or procrastinating. I was the king of procrastinating, I think. And my story, when it comes down to when you're, obviously for the expats on island know that you have to do your full health screening to be able to get a work permit here in the Cayman Islands, including a complete checkup and heart scan, etc. Well, my doctor in the U.S. had noticed something, and this is at the time when I was getting ready. I was only a couple of weeks away from coming to the Cayman Islands. This awesome opportunity to come to this beautiful place. When I went to my doctor just to get that final checkup, get that paperwork turned in, get everything sent off to the Cayman Islands. I'm ready to go. I got all my things, my ducks are in line to be able to come to the Cayman Islands. And the doctor said, I can't sign your paperwork. And the reason is I've noticed something with your heart. And I had noticed too, there was a beautiful lake by my house, and I would always go with my family and some friends and we'd hike it all the time. And I noticed I was starting to get shortness of breath. And I was just thinking that I played it off of something else, and it'll go away.
Yeah.
And what happened is the doctor said, I noticed something with your heart, and I can't sign this.
Right.
And said, I'm going to refer you to a specialist. And he said, this could be something pretty big. Well, being the manipulator that I am, and I fully take ownership for this, I told him, please sign this. This is like this opportunity for me to come to do radio in the Cayman Islands and be a part of this at the Cayman Islands. I'm so excited about coming to this beautiful place. These amazing people. And I told him, please sign it. The minute I get to the Cayman Islands, I will find a specialist. And the doctor left, and he said, I'm going to come back. I didn't think about this. And I sat, it was the longest 20 minutes of my life in the office. And he came back and said, it's against my better judgment, but I'm going to sign this. You promised me you're going to see someone as soon as you get to the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
And I arrived at the beautiful Cayman Islands and had a chance to meet great people and do stuff and go 100 miles an hour and work and enjoy the great food and the drinks and having fun and doing the beach. And the doctor appointment never happened. And
did you just forget about it, or
no, ma'am? I just kind of just thought, you know what, it's going to get better.
So your body at that point was still giving you signs. You talked about shortness of breath. So you were still having obvious signs that you were not in optimal health.
Correct. I remember even walking 7 Mile Beach and taking my chairs out of the car and walking and go, man, I need to stop for a minute. I'm having a hard time breathing.
Wow.
And it just it got worse. And I got referred to Health City. And that's where I met with these guys and had an opportunity to talk a little bit about what exactly was going on. I sat, if Dr. Benoit's office, that office right there, as he sat in that chair, if you're in the same office, I don't know, but we sat and discuss it, and it was a scary proposition that you you can't put something like that off. That's so major like that. And so even to the very last day, I was procrastinating, Sandra, to be honest with you. Wow. They had said we probably need to do this soon. And it was coming up, I think, on November. Probably need to do this like really soon. And my birthday was in December, and I had some friends coming, and I didn't want to affect that. And so that's how dumb I was with regards to my health. And looking back at it, it's something that it could have cost me my life, and it probably should have with the procrastinating. So at that point, we made the arrangements to, and Dr. Benoit probably could speak a little bit better on what exactly had to happen with me. And it wasn't anything that was small, and the procrastination could have cost me my life because it was the clock was ticking. And the Health City guys, and you had said something right off the bat there about the bedside manner and with your colonoscopy. You had these fears, and I'm sure they helped you feel so much better. Imagine being told that, hey, we're stopping your heart and lungs, and you're going to be on an artificial while we open you up and work on your heart.
Wow,
that's a scary proposition. And they, you said that they had to with your even like in a colonoscopy situation or where they have to make sure they tell you everything here. They go over things 3 different times. Sign this. Make sure, hey, there is a chance something could happen.
Yes.
And warn you of that. Boy, they did a great job. And I remember even to the final hours before I went in, want to tell you one more time, this is what we're doing, and we're warning you again. And my another just real quick props to Dr. Benoit and the Health City people. My mom, I'm a mama's boy in a big way. And my mom flew in from the States, and she was a wreck anyway. Just scared to death of this whole thing, was crying and worried or whatever. If she saw Dr. Benoit, the minute I saw Dr. Benoit pop up on the screen, I said, oh, my mom would be like smiling. My mom loves Dr. Benoit because how great he was with her and being able to, talk to her and talk her down off a ledge. And I see them do that a lot with patients in my experience with Health City, how they're so great with not only the patient, but the patient's family. That's, scared to death, right? That's freaked out about these procedures. And that I can't, man, the minute you said that about the bedside manner, you were so right. And how great they are with that.
Yes.
And so the surgery, was amazing. It was the experience was so fabulous, and it was emotional leaving because you have these people that are around you 24/7. I mean, literally, when you're in intensive care, you've got this full team that's right by your side. The intensive care center area is so intense because there's so much activity there, and they've got a desk and everything right there, all the information right there, all the specialists, doctors, round the clock. It was amazing care with the with my heart surgery.
Wow, that's an amazing story. So you said that was there a separate incident apart from that? You said there was 2 times that you were really
the second time was my stomach, and the stomach story is interesting because I've always had problems with peptic ulcers and secreting too much acid in my stomach, even from when I was a little kid. And it was always been an issue. And I would be eating Pepsid like M&Ms, this or Tagamet or whatever the over-the-counter stuff was. And I was having a problem. This is about a year after I had my heart surgery. And what happened is I was having a hard time keeping things down. And next thing you know, I'm like having lunch, and then, man, I'm feeling sick. So I'm having to throw up, and, I'm realizing that I'm lacking energy, obviously from not eating and being able to keep things down, but also that I became anemic because apparently there was ulcers that were in my stomach that were bleeding and getting scarred over and bleed. I mean, it was pretty major at the point when it got to the point where I couldn't eat, and I was just so weak. I went to my GP. And I'm not going to say where I went or rat anybody out, but the weirdest story in the world is I literally was transferred over somewhere, and I went, and the doctor said to me, just putting his hands on me, basically, you have a hernia, and we're going to need to get you in for a hernia surgery. And it happened so fast. There was a few x-rays and things. Next thing you know, I was in hernia surgery in about 3 hours. They said, this is going to help you because this is going to help you with your vomiting, etc. That night, I when I woke up and I was told that I was sent home, it was a weird situation because afterwards I didn't get any follow-up. And I was telling someone it's almost like a dream, like it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I never received a bill or anyone calling me or anything after this, after I had the surgery. And the minute I got home, I made something to eat and I once again threw up. And I was having a hard time with my stomach. And I called Dr. Benoit, who's been so solid, knowing that he isn't a stomach specialist. But Dr. Benoit sent me, said, come do ER. And I went to ER and they saw me there and through a series of scans, I thought I was going to be there for about a night or two. I think I was there for 20 something days. I had a major stomach surgery where they had to take part of where my esophagus meets my stomach, and it was a major surgery. So
basically the other procedure you had wasn't what was wrong with you at all. You didn't
Not at all. No, it had nothing to do with my heart, but they were worried because I'm fresh off this heart surgery that, a lot of the things that they cannot do and a lot of meds that I cannot take or whatever because of the stomach surgery. But it was actually part two and just as great with this amazing staff at Health City for an extended period of time. I was in and out. I felt like in a number of less than a week. Dr. Benoit can speak on how long the valve replacement.
But it wasn't a hernia. It wasn't a hernia at all.
No, it had nothing to do with it. They had obviously misdiagnosed me, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going back to it. I just almost kind of like feel like it was a dream, like it didn't really happen. And I never once there was no follow up and no bill. I never got a bill or any. It was really
probably
odd.
went in and realized that, oops.
Yeah, you hear about that kind of stuff. You see those on TV. You see those type of things. And then, so the stomach procedure was amazing. Again, I like to tell people now that I feel like I've got a heart of a 21-year-old and a stomach of a 21-year-old now. And I've been given a second chance. I feel better. It's life's great when you're able to, and it's interesting because now any little small thing that happens, it's like, I want to be able to, now I got to go see a doctor because I'm more procrastinating because I don't think there's a third chance or third time. Right.
So you're keeping up on your follow-up appointments. You're doing what the doctor is telling you to do.
Yes, of course.
He says that sheepishly, which means the diet probably isn't where it needs to be. You probably need to exercise a little bit more.
Listen, we're in the food capital of the Caribbean here.
Capital of the Caribbean, exactly. The best food in the world.
I love my cooked food.
So, Dr. Benoit, let's talk a little bit about Dr. Doug, as he's affectionately known as. Wow, this is amazing that you guys have had the opportunity to basically perform life-saving procedures on him, not once, but twice. Not sure how often that happens, but what can you say about a situation like Dr. Doug? I mean, he has such an amazing testimonial to the amazing physicians at Health City Cayman Islands, but wow, I'm shocked.
Yeah. Yes, and we come across these kinds of situation quite often. The patients or the people procrastinate, like what Dr. Doug did actually. See, when they get some stomach upset or some kind of pain in the abdomen, they always think that, it may be the acidity or some gastric upset. They take some antacids and sometimes it goes down and they think that, okay, that is one, it's carry on like that. And then by the time they realize it's related to heart, maybe too late, or by the time heart, the pumping has come down. So this we even one of the doctors on the island, it's very unfortunate, who also thought like that. Almost 2 years he lived thinking that it is acidity, and then by the time realized it's related to heart, it was a kind of very advanced stage by the time.
Wow.
So in the case of him, he's one of the valves in the heart. It was like a narrowed. It's like a the blood was finding it so difficult to go out of the heart. That's what he had, all the symptoms like shortness of breath, some chest discomfort, lightheadedness, everything he had. And these are the situations, if you go without getting the treatment, sometimes we can suddenly collapse and die. So it's very important. I mean, he understood now, but I would say the message to the public is: if you find something, body always give you some symptoms or some signs of that. Okay, something is going wrong in the body. Don't neglect it and leave it like that. Always get a opinion from an expert. That's, I always tell, that opinion from an expert. That's very, very important.
Wow, very good. We have a few comments coming in. Of course, our class troublemaker clown is in the house. Johan says, Dr. Shamari Scott is our best Cayman medical expert. Paul, good morning. Yes, we were reminding our listeners that you were heading back home today. So again, safe travels. Miss Marion Scott is here. Says, good morning, Dr. Benoit. Have a good day. Good doctor. Thank you, Damaris. We have, I can't pronounce this name, I'm afraid, but she says, thank you, Dr. Benoit, for giving my daughter, Shonder, a healthy heart. I will always be grateful to you. Wow. We have Miss Donova McLaughlin Swaby says, thank you, Dr. Benoit. You saved my mother's life 2 years ago, Miss Beatrice McLaughlin. Triple bypass. My family can never repay you. It was a rough recovery, but glory to God, she's doing great. So many amazing testimonials. And of course, we know there are lots more out there. Feel free, folks, to give us a call and express your gratitude to Dr. Benoit and the entire team at Health City Cayman Islands. 623, oh my gosh, not 623, 936-2626 is the telephone number. Feel free to call in and just say thank you and happy anniversary to Health City Cayman Islands. So we have other testimonials. We're hoping to have Dr. Leon on the program, but unfortunately his schedule didn't permit it. But Dr. Leon is actually a medical doctor.
Yes.
So many doctors in the house today. I can't even keep up.
We'll try and get him on for next week, Sandy. So he's an actual physician out of the US that had a cardiac arrest here in Cayman when he was on vacation. His wife is a nurse. They got him up to Health City. He had actually arrested like twice, and they had to revive him in the ambulance. Obviously, Dr. Benoit and team were taking care of him, and they were starting to look at how they could get an air ambulance out. And because the wife was a medical professional, and she saw and spoke to Dr. Benoit and the other physicians, she said, you know what? No, this is the best place for him. And when he comes on, he'll speak to the fact that he's not sure he would have survived if they would have sent him to the US. And he's so grateful to Dr. Benoit and team for actually saving his life. And he's a vascular surgeon as well. So he's seen many patients that would have had his type of event. He said that his actual surgery and recovery was as good, if not better, than any he has ever seen. So that's going to be a great individual to listen to as well. And just wanted to make the point that obviously, because we have the Dr. Benoits, the Dr. Ravis, persons get to know, and especially Dr. Shetty being a cardiac surgeon as well, persons get to know about Health City from a cardiac perspective. But to the point with like Dr. Doug, we've built a team across the board, multi-speciality, that can deal with virtually every and anything. So we never want people to think that, oh, it's not my heart, so let me not go to Health City. Because on the back end, we see a lot of cases when they're like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize you did X, Y, and Z. Any ailment, you can come to Health City, and we have physicians across the board that will be able to help you. But just because some of the listening audience on the radio wouldn't have heard For instance, Dr. Benoit did the first cardiac bypass ever in the Cayman Islands. We have the only ECMO center in the entire Caribbean, the only LVAD center, which actually, when you can't get a donor for your heart, it's an actual LVAD, which is a battery operated artificial heart that we're able to put in to make sure that you can still survive and continue your life. So we're the only LVAD center in the entire Caribbean. We had the first TAVI. These are some technical words, but first TAVI surgery, first artificial arthroscopic Latarjet, sorry. We have the first Da Vinci robot here in the Cayman Islands as well. Obviously, then we recently opened the first radiotherapy center. So every year we have firsts, but every few years we're looking at how we can fill more gaps, not only in the Cayman Islands, but also in the Caribbean and Central America, keeping with Dr. Shetty's vision that, a solution is not a solution if it's not affordable. So we want to make sure that people can gain access to the life-saving surgeries that we're doing here, and having individuals, obviously, like Dr. Benoit, who has decided to stay with us to help to see it through, really makes it. You can have great facility, which we do. You can have new equipment, but without the people, and Dr. Benoit will tell you about our anesthesia team, we'll tell you about our ICU team, all of the nurses that make that holistic care. Dr. Benoit at times says, my job is like 15-20%. It's everybody else around that actually is going to make the difference. And we have a great team across the board, which makes a difference. Why even we treated a nurse who was from the UK medical system, and sure enough, a lot of our nurses are recruited into the UK medical system afterwards, because we did such a good job with her when she was here on vacation and had an issue, that it just shows you the quality across the board that we have at Health City.
Absolutely. And, Shamari, you were sharing earlier that there were some naysayers in the beginning who, even in terms of you, like, oh my gosh, why are you going over there? You'll be back with government. And I was sort of thinking about this myself, even in the medical profession, there were some naysayers, and those very same individuals and institutions are now recruiting your staff and trying to poach your staff. So need we say more?
It's great. At the end of the day, the vision for Health City coming was to elevate the game from a medical perspective across the board, and make sure that the Cayman Islands will be known as one of the top destinations for healthcare. And the fact that we have other institutions that, we're branching out, and we have people in different institutions, just tells you the quality of the medical infrastructure here. And not to say that it was bad prior to us coming here, but obviously there were certain levels. Like we had the first cath lab, a lot of firsts, bringing that additional technical service. Without medical tourism in a small island, it just wouldn't make sense. So the fact that we have obviously additional person coming makes us able to offer all of these additional, because our population isn't 80,000. It's much more when you look at the people that we're bringing in from a medical perspective. And also just wanted to state that in my travels, obviously from a Caribbean perspective, when I was in tourism, we used to go and they would show us the best. So you'd go to obviously hotels in the tourism district, and you get to see the best. With that other hat on now, in my travels, you really get to see the inside of a country when you get to see their medical system. And I just want to say that our government system is top notch, and probably one of the best, if not the best, in the Caribbean as well. So definitely to give them their flowers, that they do a great job as a government hospital. And obviously we're able to extend with a lot of tertiary care in other areas that we're bringing to the table as well. So nothing but love for the medical community here in the
absolutely. Angie was asking about making an appointment for a full body check. We've got Health City support in the comment section, giving you all the details on how to do that. So let's talk about, Dr. Doug mentioned how he ignored a lot of things that he probably shouldn't have. Let's talk about the executive health check, because I must tell you, that I've been through it, and it was the most comprehensive the first time that I did it a couple of years ago now. It was definitely the most comprehensive examination I have ever done in my entire life. I wasn't sure if there was anything left for them to check on. I'm like, I have been prodded and probed, and so there's a number of different packages that you put together, Shamari, which are very, very affordable. And for me, I said, right, let's do the executive health check, but I'm also a woman, so I want to add on the women's package. And we did the cardio package. We just did it all. And 6 hours later, like literally, it took a little bit longer for me because we were also doing some additional stuff on the back end, but everything was checked, like kidney function. We did a bunch of blood work, heart. We did the the stress test, echocardiogram, breast examination, pelvic exam, everything. So talk about the importance, really, as Angie is asking about sort of this full body check. Let's talk about all of the diagnostic, tests that you have available and the packages that you've also put together that are really quite phenomenal.
And I'll let Dr. Benoit go into more detail, but just to state that one of the great things about having a person like Dr. Benoit, who's also a visionary and thinks in a futuristic state, is that even though he's a cardiac surgeon and he may eventually work himself out of a job, his vision, and this would have been for the last 2 to 3 years, was that we should make our not only health checks, but all of our checks, even for cancer markers and the such, as available as possible, but also extend. So we have a lot of different health checks that we do in the community, that we do in different areas, in order to try and catch if there's anything very early, so that we are able to actually treat it early without doing all of your heavy duty types of items later in stage. So, Dr. Benoit's goal is that eventually, he said, a population of now 80,000. When we started talking about this, it was 60,000. But anyway, when you have a population that is that small, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to get as many health checks out there as possible, so we can catch things early. Obviously, we want people to live healthy lifestyles, but we want to catch things as early as possible to be able to treat it, so that he doesn't have to operate on the back end. So that's a part of Dr. Benoit's vision, and he's always pushing for us to do more health checks to catch things early, or to tell people that they're good, or to help them to get on the right track as well. But Dr. Benoit, I don't know if you want to talk about the different areas that we touch on.
Thanks, Shamari. Sandy, also this. I'm a strong believer of this executive health checkup or health check. You know that around 70% of the mortality in the worldwide is because of cardiovascular and cancer related. Mm-hmm. And these are the two areas. There are enough tests to identify and diagnose the early stage of this development of this, whether it is a block in the heart, mm-hmm. whether it is a development of a stroke, whether it is a beginning of a cancer. Almost all organs, we can find out if there is a chance that brewing a cancer, or in the heart, if there is the block is being developed, or the possibility of developing a stroke. So all those things we can identify early, treat, and prevent a catastrophic event. It is not like 20 or 30 years ago. Those times, even if you find out, first of all, there was no sophisticated screening methodology was not there at that time. But even if it found, cancer at the early stage, or a block that is developing in the heart, or the blood vessel that goes to the brain, there were not enough technology to treat or prevent this. Now it is totally different. See, 70% of the cancers in the body, if you identify at stage 1 or stage 2, you can completely cure. That is the difference now. Excuse me. That is the reason why I strongly believe, and most of the visionaries actually in the healthcare, they say don't wait for things to develop to the advanced stage. Instead of that, you get it diagnosed at the early stage, treat, cure. See, 70% of this the mortality is because of these two reasons, cancer and the cardiovascular related. And these both the areas we can identify, treat, and cure before it goes to the advanced stage. What a change in the quality of life for the person, for the family, for the society, for the nation, and how much economic impact if you identify a cancer or a heart attack before it happens. So, and we at Cayman Islands, such a educated population, economically very advanced, and we have now every advanced technology here with us. So, this is my request to the entire public here on the island. Please, don't delay and get it affect your body and family by the procrastination. What Dr. Doug was telling. Get it done early. See, it's two things. First of all, not everybody will have something to treat, but if you know that, okay, I am good, there is no evidence of any blocks in the heart, the valves are good, no chance of getting a stroke in the near future, no cancer in developing in the body, what a peace of mind. That's one. And second thing is, something is there, and through our executive health checkup program, we have identified so many cancers in the stage 1, so many, and those patients are completely cured and leading a very good life. Imagine after 1 or 2 years, once it becomes stage 3 or stage 4, it is not cure anymore. It's a palliative treatment, and then the first of all, the quality of life, and then the survival rate is completely different. It's a matter of maybe a few months or years.
Yes.
So I strongly urge to go for this checkup, find out and treat if it is there, or enjoy life if it is nothing is developing.
Yes. Wow. So of course, the important thing, even from my perspective, is that, as Doug rightfully pointed out, a lot of times there are, you might not be having extreme shortness of breath like Doug, but there are other things that are letting you know, okay, your numbers are changing. As we get older, we know that things tend to go up. We have to watch your blood pressure, which can be a silent killer if you're not monitoring it. Your A1C number is something you need to watch in terms of, potential risk to diabetes. There's all these numbers that give you an indication of what your health is inside. You can look at somebody, Shamari, we know this. You can look at the exterior of a person. They look great. They look slim. And you think, oh, there's nothing wrong with them. They look like they're in the best of health, but your numbers actually say a lot. And so that's why it's important, as Dr. Benoit was just saying, these executive health checks really give you, if you haven't had them done before, they give you a baseline number of where you're at. Is this something that you need to be concerned about? I'm doing blood work at least once a quarter to kind of just monitor. I'll redo my executive health check again in October. And there are some very, very specific numbers that I'm keeping an eye on. And when I have my consultations, for example, with Dr. Sandy, he'll say, this number, Sandy, is borderline, but here's what you can do to help it not increase and, in fact, to bring it down. So lose the 20 pounds, because that's going to make a significant difference. And we will only start to intervene once they're the experts. So we're only going to intervene once the number gets to 6.5, it's at 6 now. So it's borderline. We don't want you to get to 6.5, but medically, this is what we would do if you get to 6.5. So even sort of forecasting, what does that mean for you in terms of, if you're not able to get it under control, how the medical professionals will then intervene. I mean, I always find that even if it's just a phone consultation, my experience has been that you can ask questions if you don't understand something. And the physicians at Health City, are very, very open to answering those questions. Dr. Benoit, you'll know that, I can only speak from personal experience, but last year there was something that kind of showed up on my breast exam. And, Dr. Archita said, this is something, not Dr. Archita, you'll have to remind me of her name, Shamari, OBGYN.
Dr. Pooja was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pooja, yeah. She said, this wasn't there on last year's scan. And again, this is why you want to get these annual exams. So, I want us to do an ultrasound. I want us to see what this is. We did the ultrasound. That physician, didn't think that it was anything, but we went the extra step of someone who had literally just started, another specialist who just started at Health City. I can't remember his name now, but he's the breast surgeon, the breast expert. Recent to the team, Shamari, help me out here.
Dr. Jagan.
Yes, Dr. Jagan. he had just started, and Dr. Benoit said, go and sit down with him because this is his area of specialty. And I was so amazed that he actually took the time not just to review the full history, to ask me questions all over again, but also explain to me, when we're looking at any sort of a mass, if you will, in relation to the breast, what concerns us are the following things. And he actually went through it, like the shape of it, whether or not it's like a perfectly circular around the edges, or if it's a bit more disorganized, because that indicates a presence of cancer. Like he actually went through all this stuff and explained it in such a simplistic way, like simple terms, that really anybody could understand it. And I was just like, wow, this is good. And again, it gave me that confidence that, you've got physicians who know what they're doing. They're happy to take the time to sit down with you. You're not feeling rushed to explain it to you. If you have any questions, they're happy to answer those questions. So it's a very, very different patient experience. We just had someone, I can't fully read on air what they said, but let me just put it this way. Shamari, I'll send this message to you privately. They said Shamari might not want to criticize others, but let's just say that the quality of service is far less than desirable at some other facilities on island. That's as nice as I could possibly say it. So you'll chuckle when you see the message privately, though. So Miss Christine, good morning. Oh, first of all, Miss Emma says Dr. Ravi and Dr. Benoit, wonderful doctors. I'm forever grateful to them and Health City. Good morning to Miss Gina. Christine says, good morning, and thanks to Dr. Benoit and his entire team for saving my life approximately 2 years ago. Wow. I went in for scheduled angiogram on May the 12th, 2022, to determine if I had blockages. And after the findings, they had to perform an emergency triple bypass surgery to save my life. This is such an amazing testimonial. Thank you, Miss Christine. Praise be to God, as I was in the right place at the right time, as I suffered a cardiac arrest right before my surgery. What are the chances? Oh my gosh. I had an excellent recovery and will forever be grateful for Dr. Benoit and his team. Happy anniversary. So she's coming in for issues, and she just happens to have a cardiac arrest right before you take her in for surgery?
Yeah, that's what happened. I still recollect that. So this is exactly, Sandy, I want to tell you about this heart, the blocks in the heart, and we call it coronary artery disease, and the heart attacks or myocardial infarction, whatever we call in different terms. See, only 50% of the patients will reach hospital. Mm-hmm. Rest 50 will not even reach hospital. Mm-hmm. So that means from externally, what you told, from outside, you may be looking great, actually. Everything is good. But you will not know what is brewing up there. So mm-hmm. unless you do a test to understand or to diagnose, you will not know, because this heart attack occurs not by a block slowly develops and becoming 100% block. It may be a 30%, 40% or 50% block, and that plaque disrupts and goes further down into the artery and completely blocks. That's enough to have a heart attack. And half of the time you may not even reach the hospital. We are hearing many times, even young people in their 40s, 50s suddenly drop dead while they are doing somewhere, while walking in some activities. Mm-hmm. So we with all the knowledge now, with all the facilities and all the infrastructure, manpower, expertise, everything what we have, we should not allow our young people or people with their productive life to lose their precious lives like that. It's very unfortunate. I always see, sometimes we feel that, oh, why we are losing these youngsters or the pillars of the family, leaving like that a very early age. So this is something that I can talk, hours on this actually. How many experience or examples that we have that's gone through us. We have advised this test and found out something. Not only cardiac, it is for the cancers, other thing. The breast cancer, what you told, lung cancer, again, this is one of the leading causes of the cancers in the world. And many times, by the time you get to know what is happening, by the symptoms develop, maybe too advanced. So when there is not all should go for those tests, but there are certain criteria. Who has the risk factors, they should go for the low dose CT scan to find out that, or these cancers of the uterus and stomach or a GI tract. We have all the technology to identify at the early stages. So I want to talk a lot, but the time is not permitting. But I request everybody, and Shamari and team has developed a program that it's becoming very, very affordable for the common public. It's not like that. It's cost you like thousands, like in the US. It is very much affordable, and if somebody is not affordable, also we will find a solution how to get it done.
If I can ask Dr. Benoit, sir, a quick question. The Breast Cancer Foundation here does such great work on island, and someone told me recently that there's been a huge uptick in women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer as of late. Is that because a lot of people are getting checked now? More people are getting checked, do you think? I mean, what would you speak on that? Because I'm just curious why, and if that's true, why that is.
So, that definitely the awareness is getting better and better because of all this Cancer Society, Breast Cancer Foundation, all these activities what we are doing. The number of the people who are undergoing this mammogram and other mammogram is not the only one. There's breast MRI and even self-test. So the women are more aware of this, and that is the one reason we are definitely diagnosing this early. And plus, the other important thing about this breast cancer is what we see now, the diagnosis of breast cancer in the 30s, in women with women in their 30s and early 40s. That is significantly increasing. I cannot talk about. I'm not the expertise in that, but I know that is happening. Maybe the oncologist will tell more about why it is happening. It's not only in the Cayman Islands, but the diagnosing breast cancer in early ages in 30s and 40s is significantly increasing. So it's not like that the 50s, maybe a couple of decades ago. Now it is 30s and 40s. So even women in that age group should be aware of this. And there are different ways to identify this. There are very non-invasive tests, self-test, and all those things. But you should go to a right doctor to understand what should I do. Okay, if I have done this time, when should I do next time? What all things I should watch between now and the next visit. So everything, there is very good protocols are there, and if anything you developing at the very early stage, we can find out, and that is a cure.
Yeah. Very good. All right, so we've got a few videos that we're going to play, and then folks get ready for several giveaways here this morning. You're going to do some executive health checks, so make sure that you are paying attention so that you can win one. Somebody just says, I want one really, really badly. Well, pay attention, honey child. Coming up, your opportunity to win some of those is coming right up. So let's hear what Dr. Leon had to say about his experiences with Health City Cayman Islands.
I came to the Cayman Islands because I'm on the board of a healthcare captive. So I was here for those days to be at the healthcare board meetings. At the end of our board meeting, I went up to exercise on the treadmill, and I had a sudden death arrest, cardiac arrest while I was on the treadmill. And fortunately for me, I ended up at Health City.
In the ambulance we went after 3 defibrillations and a lot of CPR, and we actually went to another hospital first where they stabilized him, and then we were transported here to Health City. Kitano, he works in the gym at the Ritz, and he's the one who saw my husband collapse and started CPR right away. And if it wasn't for his quick thinking and fast action, we would have looked at a totally different situation here.
After 3 sets of CPR, I decided to use the AED. So, and I told my colleague that he can peel off the cover for the pads. At that same time, luckily, one of the guests was a cardiologist. He came and he introduced and said, "I'm a cardiologist," and he took over the AED from my colleague and he pasted. And after that, we gave him like 2 shocks from the AED, and simultaneously he and myself did the CPR. Yeah, I am proud that I am able to do something for our guests.
And met Dr. Benoit and Dr. Ravi, and they explained the situation to me. And it was because of them I decided that I would stay here and have Leon receive his care here, because they just made me very comfortable with what they had to offer, and I really had a lot of trust in them because of the way that they treated me.
Dr. Benoit is a special guy.
Absolutely.
And
He's going to be our lifelong friend.
I suppose, yeah. I'm trying not to get emotional, but he has a gift that most people don't have. And there's his technical part, which is very gifted, but as a human being, he was great with her.
And the kids.
And sometimes that counts more.
So when he came here, he was on ventilator. His blood pressure was borderline. He was totally unconscious, not responding to even painful stimuli also. And our senior cardiologist, Dr. Ravi Kishore, was here, and immediately within 30 minutes he was taken to cath lab, and emergency angiogram was done. That showed very critical triple vessel disease. One of the arteries over the heart, that is called the left anterior descending artery, was totally occluded, and the other 2, that one on the right side of the heart and one on the behind the heart, were very critically stenosed or blocked, like more than 95%.
Dr. Ravi is really good at, as well as explaining what he was doing. I mean, my kids understood what was going on. My wife understood what was going on.
One of the arteries called the LAD, the so-called widowmaker of the heart, was totally blocked. So in order to kind of give him some better circulation, we tried to open that widowmaker, the left anterior descending coronary artery. We successfully managed to perfuse it and produce some flow. Once we established that, we had a team discussion, and we decided that the best option for him was to go for an urgent bypass surgery. Till that particular time, he was put on optimal medications to prevent further damage to the heart.
After he came to the ICU, within 2 hours he was extubated. That means he was taken out of the breathing machine, and his recovery was quite smooth and straightforward. Second day he was shifted out of the ICU to the ward, and the 4th day he got discharged from the hospital.
I couldn't have ever gotten anything more than I got. I'm amazingly pleased with my care. I'm a vascular surgeon at home, so I see plenty of patients after cardiac surgery, and my care, my recovery, in my opinion, was as good or better than anyone I've ever seen. I'm very impressed with this. In fact, our company will consider sending some of our patients here for their care, because the model here is a model that the United States healthcare system is striving to get to. Yeah, this actually was a beautiful recovery, because it was me and Judy and the 3 kids. And as the children had to go back to their jobs and their professions, it got down to just me and Judy again, which is how it started. So
Yeah,
we've had one long honeymoon,
we
right?
did, absolutely. I said, he really is my Christmas miracle. Don't cry.
Wow. I mean, you get so emotional seeing and hearing this story. And Doug, you saw how emotional he got as a patient, as someone who went through that experience, but really knowing that he's alive today because of the care that he received so incredibly quickly. So,
And look at how special too. Look at how special, like, you were talking about, and we were talking about how they speak to, and how Dr. Benoit is so great with, like he was with my parents who were there. Everyone sings from the same hymn book with that when they talk about that, how great he was with the family. And that's what I mentioned as well. And that's just, I'll tell you what, it's worth your weight in gold, because if you're worried, you're worried about getting better yourself, but also worried about, an overbearing mom that's going to, freak herself out into getting a nervous breakdown or whatever. He was able to talk my mom down off numerous times. And even after my stomach surgery, when my mom couldn't get a hold of anyone to find out the latest, because she wasn't on island for that. And she finally said, I'm calling Dr. Benoit. And next thing you know, they got me in touch with her through Dr. Benoit. And so that, I mean, his, the bedside manner, when you said that in your opening with this, Sandra, is so dead on. And that's just, I mean, it's worth its weight in gold, that not only the care, and, we're talking about, Dr. Benoit. And another thing that we talk about is, Dr. Benoit is the Michael Jordan of heart surgeons. And we're blessed to have him here in the Cayman Islands. And you hear all these people, giving him love, and look at all the comments too that are coming in on your show, Sandra, that are saying about, God is good and takes to Dr. Benoit, and he helped my mom and helped myself. One thing that Dr. Benoit will never do is never big time you, or never, he's so humble, and that makes me more special,
yes.
And Dr. Doug, just because you said it, I have quite a few friends who talk about LeBron James, and you notice how you said the Michael Jordan of heart surgery.
Oh yeah, well I know you're a Laker fan.
Nobody says the LeBron James of heart surgery, even though he's with the Lakers now. I'm just saying.
No, he is. And you know what? It's interesting is you see that staff there. They did that pan shot of the staff.
Yes.
And man, all those guys. I mean, I've got such fondness for them. When you run into them at like Hurley's or whatever, it's like they all remember you, and they come over and say hi. It's they make you feel really special. So it's next level care, man. We are just so blessed beyond measure here in the Cayman Islands to have Health City.
We have a person who's listening who wanted to share something, but she's a bit emotional to call in, but she wanted to share this. Ms. Christine. She says, thanks to Dr. Deepak and his amazing team at Health City Cayman Islands for saving my life after I had a botched stomach surgery by a doctor at another facility. I will forever be grateful and can attest to the amazing, efficient, and specialized treatment, compassion, and comfort that I received. I thank each and everyone from the staff that cleaned my room to the various specialists that participated in my life-saving surgery. So, wow, another amazing testament from Miss Christine this morning about, the amazing care that she received, and incredibly grateful for that. So let's go ahead and play another video. This is the anniversary video. We have Michelle, who's watching from the Philippines, says, thank you, Dr. Benoit. My daughter is now 11 years old, 7 years since you've operated on her. Thank you, Lord. So amazing. Thank you, Michelle, for sharing that story, that personal testimony as well. All right, so let's have a look at this anniversary video. 10 years.
Last 10 years, through every life-changing moment. We've seen hundreds of thousands of patients from home and overseas, but nothing scares us. We get together, talk it through, and come up with the best treatment plan for the best patient outcome. We've had many firsts, always working together to create a lasting impact. We always have a welcoming smile, ready to give a hand or to hold one. We find veins and help the next generation of Caymanian healthcare workers to find themselves, finding a deeper purpose along the way. We're not superheroes. We're just ordinary people doing extraordinary things because everyone deserves access to the best healthcare. We don't just see numbers. We see every face, know every name, and remember every story. We're mending lives and putting hearts back where they belong. We don't do it for the accolades or the recognition, even though we've received many. We do it for Leslie, Barbara, the Parsons sisters, and for everyone we've had the privilege to serve over the past 10 years. We're a different kind of hospital, born out of a vision to provide world-class, affordable healthcare to those who need it. With this as our North Star, we update, upgrade, and expand. And today, we stand as a symbol of compassion, courage, and unwavering commitment. Proud of the past and excited about what lies ahead.
Wow, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Miss Sue says, I totally agree with Christine as I got wonderful treatment at Health City Cayman Islands with my knee replacement. Doctors, nurses, cleaning staff, everyone. I'd want to go there first, top of my list. Absolutely amazing. Good morning, Gabby, and thank you so much for your testimony as well. She's saying that she is a heart patient surgery at 6 days old. Health City wasn't around then, but she had her surgery at the Miami Children's Hospital, and she was diagnosed with DiGeorgis, is that how it's pronounced? Syndrome.
Yes, correctly. Yes.
Yeah. So Gabby, I'm glad to see that you're still here with us and you're doing okay. So of course we got some stuff to give away. This is the part of the show now that we absolutely love. And I was just saying to someone in the comment section, you know, the one thing that I find amazing about the Medical Rundown Tuesdays is people get so engaged. We're now at almost 350 people sitting here watching the program. And the videos, Shamari, people always love these videos that you guys put together. They're absolutely amazing to just capture a snippet of what it is that you guys do at Health City Cayman Islands. So we're going to give away some executive health checks. Now I've got some, hold on now. I know I've got some pictures here, but I'm going to share with you guys, but tell us a little bit about what people have the opportunity to win today.
Yes. The biggest thing that I'm excited when it comes to our and are getting the executive checks, but not get the executive health check, but we have a wonderful canvas bag and a beautiful cup mug that we are also going to have the executive health check included with those, so you can get the anniversary bag and mug as well as the executive health check, which I know quite a few people want to be able to gain access to as well. So Sandy, I don't know how you want to do it. I have at least 4 questions to start to give away for today, and maybe save for next week if we're going to get Dr. Leon Joseph to come on as well. But whenever you're ready, I will go ahead and give the first question, and I don't know if you want to do it online or if you want people to call in or how you want that to go.
Yes, we want people to call in.
There we go.
Sometimes the online feed it comes in a different order, and y'all be fighting with me about I said it first. So call in, telephone number 936-2626. Again, this is a beautiful gift certificate from Health City Cayman Islands. You get your wonderful bag. There's a nice picture of the bag, very, very nice, and a little mug and stuff as well. But the most important thing in here is your health check, the executive health check, because listen, you can't put a price on good health. Trust and believe me. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready. First question, please.
So the first question is, what month and year did we open our doors to see patients at Health City?
936-2626. Give us a call. What month and year? This one is so easy. I'm just saying. He started off.
I'm starting off easy. Yeah, he's gonna get more difficult.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
It was April 2014.
That's right.
Yes, that was so easy.
Was it Shamari, was it April 4th or April 5th? Or
it was April 2nd.
April 2nd. Oh, wow.
Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations. Let me just hold on one quick second. I'm just going to take down your number here. And And just give me a first name, please, and they'll give you a call later for your prize.
Julie.
Miss Julie. Congratulations, Miss Julie.
Thank you.
All right, my dear. All right, don't worry. More questions coming. Next question, please.
The next question is, can you please name 2 physicians that are within our cardiac services area? So 2 of our cardiac physicians. Any 2.
Ooh. All right, 2 physicians that are in the cardiac section. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, good. You're going to take a stab at this question. 2 physicians who work in the cardiac section at Health City Cayman Islands.
Dr. Benoit is one.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember his name correctly, I think it's Dr. Devaraju.
Dr.
Yes, that's true.
Dr. Devaraju.
Yes. Congratulations. You are a winner. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I got your name and number already. I recognize the voice.
Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, folks. Before we take another question, we have Miss Dorothy Davis saying, will Health City be doing the heart checkup this year at a reduced rate? I think it was the calcium scoring test. Is that at a health fair, or I don't know what that's in reference to, but
Yeah, so we will be announcing. We always have a reduction in regards to our executive health check as well, and that'll be announced next week. And we always run that for a month, so don't worry, it's coming, Miss Dorothy. It's coming. You'll be able to get that.
Yes. All right. And Angel says, Dr. Benoit was my doctor. My dad loved him so much. My dad passed away, and now he is my mom's doctor. He and Dr. Ravi work great as a team. I remember when my mom was doing a surgery for hours, and he left the theater and came to the room to update on my mom. But the amazing thing is when he told the nurse to give us an extra bed, because we decided that we were not leaving the hospital until mom finished her surgery. I love Dr. Benoit so much. My mom's name is Miss Van Reen Johnson, and my late dad, unfortunately, got cut off there. But hopefully you know exactly who that is, Dr. Benoit.
Yes, I remember Van Reen Johnson very well. Yes.
Yes, wonderful. All right, Priscilla's in the house. Miss Sue, thank you so much. Nicholas DaCosta says, I had my first Health City experience in October of 2023, and I'm forever grateful for the care I received. Health City truly is a blessing to all of us in this country and beyond our borders. Thank you so much, Nick, for that. Really, really appreciate it. So we'll do one more, Shamari?
Yeah, we can do 2 more. So, the next question is a physician that isn't a cardiac physician and their specialty.
All right. So name a physician that isn't a cardiac physician, right? That is not a cardiac physician,
and their specialty,
and name what their specialty is. So you got to remember, we have them on the show every single week. So you just got to think about someone that we've had on recently, but you have to remember what it is that they do at Health City Cayman Islands. So good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. I would name Dr. Vanita Benoit, oncologist.
Yes, that's correct, Shamari.
That is correct. That is correct.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations to you. Very, very good. You're a winner. Hold on. Let me just take down your number. I know I have you on WhatsApp as well.
Yeah.
I recognize your voice.
Yes, Dorothy.
It's so nice when we become regulars on the program. Yes, that we know each other.
Yeah. I was typing something. I wanted to make a comment also because I was typing something. You know, I'm listening and typing, and my brain wasn't acting too good this morning. And I had to say that with Health City, what I love about Health City and the doctors, I mean, I go there quite often with my husband, but is that they what they got patient-centered care is bar none. None other that they see the patient. You know, it's not a piece of paper or a number in front of them. If they see you in the corridors, they say good morning. If they see you on the street, they say good morning or hello or smile with you. That you don't get from other doctors. I had a horrible experience just last week. I went to a cardiologist on Friday for ambulatory, and I saw that same doctor at 5:30 in the evening at a supermarket, looked full in my face and no smile, no nothing, and had just seen him earlier that evening. And you know what that does to a patient that you are going in there for care? That's what I love about Health City and their doctors, because you feel so connected to them when you go, because you put you at ease when you see a doctor that smiles with you wherever you are or whatever. You just feel like, okay, my life is in their hands now. And I am an anxious patient, and my anxiety level goes down really when I go there, and their nurses and everybody else. Anyway, so thank God for Health City in Cayman and their doctors, and I just wish them nothing but the best.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
All right.
All right, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna do one more.
One more.
All right.
One more. We'll save some for next week as well, but
Absolutely.
one more.
Fantastic.
So I would have started the program, I think, on 2 different occasions at least. Would have been speaking to a lot of firsts that Health City has had, either first in the Cayman Islands or firsts in the Caribbean. So if somebody can call in and name one of the firsts that Health City has had, that will give them executive health checkup, plus the canvas bag and that beautiful mug. We need to remove the certificate so you can see the bag is even more beautiful. But
oh yes, hold on. We got another picture of just the bag.
There we go. See, beautiful. Look at that.
Beautiful. 936-2626. The question is one of the firsts, and there's been a lot of them. So, good morning, caller.
Hi. Is it the first to be accredited by the Joint Commission?
Most definitely. Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations. You are a winner. And that's a big deal, actually. Shamar, we can talk about that here in just a little second. But let me take down your number, young lady. And can you just give me a first name that they can give you a call?
Okay. Yeah, it's Priscilla, Sandy.
Priscilla. Hey, Priscilla. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
All right. Congratulations. I got your number.
All right.
All right, darling. Thank you so much. So, she brings up a good point. Tell us a little bit about, since we're talking about all the accolades, really, the Joint Commission, remind me of the
JCI.
JCI. Yes. So tell us exactly what that means to Health City.
No, definitely. So when we first started as a facility that would need to attract patients from elsewhere, there is an organization called the Joint Commission International organization that gives accreditation to hospitals outside of the US, etc., so that patients from US, Canada, wherever can actually be assured of the quality that's actually there. And typically it would take you anywhere between 2, 3, 4 years to be able to get that Joint Commission seal of approval. It's like that FDA stamp of approval. And we got it within a year. So they even said to us, are you sure you want to do this now? Because if you fail this, it will stay with you for a long time. You just started. But because we come from a huge organization like Narayana in India, we have over 40 hospitals and embedded units. We already went through the JCI process in India, as well as everything we do in regards to being able to reduce price, having lower infection rates, measuring all of the different areas. That's something we do anyway. So we knew that we were ready, and we prepared for JCI, and we were the first in the Cayman Islands to get it, only the second hospital in the Caribbean to have it. And recently, in 2023, we got the Enterprise JCI accreditation, which actually means that we're part of more than one entity using our hospitals in India with us to actually have the Enterprise accreditation, which is just a higher level of JCI. And we're obviously the first in the Caribbean to have that, first in the Cayman Islands to also have that. And sorry, only in the Caribbean now to have that, I should state. So it's really just that stamp of approval. But, once you start, and you would see all of the patient testimonials, all of the people talking about the great care, all of the quality of outcomes, that's what it's really about. So JCI was really to get people to trust us. But now you talk to any of our patients, that's where the trust truly lies, and they really do the selling for us as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wanted to do a big shout out. Personally, everyone at Health City is phenomenal, but I don't want to say my personal favorite, but Shalini and I have a special relationship. She always takes care of me in the most amazing way. So Shalini, I don't know if you're listening to the program this morning. If other staff at Health City Cayman Islands are listening, please let Shalini know that Sandy said hello and thank you so much. You really are phenomenal. So Joyce Lisa from the Philippines watching as well. I tell you, Shamari, we've got a huge following from the Philippines, not just here in the Cayman Islands, but they listen back home. Says, thank you to Dr. Benoit. My son Liam is now 9 years old, and it's been 7 years since you operated on him. God bless. Miss Dawn says, I remember my friend Mary Thompson talking about Dr. Ravi feels so safe when visiting Cayman because of Health City. So a testament from, again, someone who's overseas who knows that when they come here, if something should happen to you, you can get to Health City at Cayman Islands and have the most amazing experience, top-notch experience worldwide. So thank you guys so much. I know we went into a little bit of overtime this morning, but I really appreciate Shamari, who makes the time to come on almost every single week here with us. Dr. Benoit, thank you so much for your continued service to the people of the Cayman Islands. Happy 10th anniversary. And Dr. Doug, DJ Dr. Doug.
Dr. Doug.
Put that in quotations. He's not a real doctor, folks.
Nope.
He's a doctor of music. He's here with us this morning as well.
This guy's awesome, though. Wait, this I got to point the right way.
The other way.
Yeah, sorry. Love you, Dr. Benoit. And Shamari Scott is the Michael Jordan of publicity, medical guys.
He'll soon, just by association, he might soon get his medical qualifications, as Johan actually said.
Congratulations on 10 years. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
What a landmark. And obviously people that are talking, look at all the accolades you're getting just in, people that are commenting on, the nearly 1,000 people on Sandy's show, giving you guys love. And that's a big deal. So congratulations, you guys. That's awesome.
And Sandy, just to mention that obviously coming from tourism where Caymankind was born, just to encapsulate the Caymanian feeling of the people as well as who come here and how they need to fit in, saying hello in the morning, seeing somebody smiling, saying how are you doing. And just to mention that I was on my way back from Miami, some meetings this week, and right at our Cayman Airways counter, I'm not going to say her name because I'm not sure she wants me to say her name. She's like, Shamar, wait there. And she ran into the back, and right on our 10-year anniversary, she's like, I saw this and I thought about you. And I bought this just for you. And I forgot it at home. I checked the iTunes. I saw you were traveling. I drove back home to get it, knowing that you were coming. And that's what encapsulates Caymanians and even for Cayman Airways.
Exactly, I hate to tell you, but I know exactly who that is. She's so amazing. Every time I used to travel with my dog, I didn't travel with the dog, but she knew how much Coco meant to me. She always had a gift. Christmas time, sometimes no reason at all. She had a little bone, a little gift or something for Coco, like, hey, Sandy, take this back home. And give this to Coco for me. So we've got some
and that's why
all over.
It warms my heart when you hear somebody call in and say that one thing that separates Health City from some other places is the fact that when I go to the grocery store, the doctor says hello or the nurses, they smile. And that's what we want as the Cayman Islands. And I'm glad to hear that Health City has really fit into that mantra and is a part of the society and community that way as well.
Yes, absolutely. And final word here, Dorothy says Health City is also becoming dementia friendly. A number of their staff have completed information sessions and received their certificates. So working in collaboration, Shamari, with NPOs, I know is very, very important to you. There's a number of NPOs including the dementia associations, various cancer associations, and so forth, that you guys work closely with to really, sort of develop those relationships within the community to support those organizations, to give of, your time and your staff's time. We do have a few photos that we do want to kind of feature. So Shamari, if you can kind of walk us through briefly before we end the program, what some of these things are that we are looking at. So here's the Heart Warriors and Angels Beach event.
Definitely. So it is, we had one of our young patients, well, prior to us being here, who had a congenital disease, wasn't with us at that time. However, the mother every year wants to raise awareness, wants to raise funds to go towards the Heart Association as well. And we always participate, do the Angels Walk. And we've been participating. And there's even an actual bench that I think it was her husband, who is an artist as well, designed and had made, that we have within our facility as well, so that people can always remember his name as well as can contribute towards the cause as well.
Beautiful. All right. We've got Healthcare Explorers, so a number of these.
Yeah. So, and when it comes to Healthcare Explorers, that is our educational arm, which is near and dear to Dr. Shetty and a lot of our doctors' hearts, whereby we understand that for Health City to be sustainable and for us to do the right thing, we have had over 50,000 quality interactions with students at every different level throughout the Cayman Islands. Obviously, some students take 3 and 4 and 5 different programs within, just so that we can give them a taste of what it is to be a medical professional. And, we hope that they will take that career path, but even in certain instances, they decide, you know what, this isn't for me, and that's good. But in most instances, they can say, you know what, this is something I really want to do, and they're actually moving towards it. So we look forward in the next 10 to 20 years to have, life of Caymanians teeming throughout the medical industry, both in the Health City as well as throughout the Cayman Islands as well.
And some of your community screening programs, again, working with a lot of different, whether it's the Lions, the Dementia Association, offering free community screening.
Yep, definitely. So we're always, as Dr. Benoit said, looking forward to getting into the community more, to do more screenings, to do more talks, to get people to be more proactive. But also, as he mentioned, if we catch things early, medicine is such now that you can, in most instances, treat and cure and or give a much better lifestyle here forward based on catching things earlier. So that's one of the events we were at with the Lions Club as well, which does a great job in picking certain disease profiles and bringing awareness long before Health City. And we're just happy to help to engage and enhance that as well.
And here's another one from the Addison Kelly Butterfly 5K.
Yes, so we always participate, and there are these great organizations that want to bring around. This one is for mental health, and we always sponsor as well as get a lot of our staff to participate. We don't actually have to pull too many arms for persons to do it. Once we say, hey, there's this race and whatnot, our staff in droves sign up and actually go through it. So it's great to have healthy professionals who also walk the walk as well.
Beautiful. Here's the Samantha Purse. Tell us a little bit about this.
Samaritan's Purse. So they're Billy Graham, if I recall correctly. It's actually his charitable organization. That
By the way,
around...
real quick, Shamari, sorry to interrupt you. I got to talk about that because I apologize about it. I know we're going late. This is something that I wanted to mention earlier. I ran into Ruth Graham, who is the oldest daughter of the late Reverend Billy Graham. And she goes to Little Cayman all the time. And as a matter of fact, was at Cayman Islands Baptist Church too about a couple of months ago. When I spoke to her, she had mentioned, and we started talking about different things. And by the way, the pastor there's one is a heart hero also, and a patient of Dr. Benoit's. We got on the subject of that, and she had mentioned she's familiar about the partnership with Samaritan's Purse about getting the heart surgeries for children. Is that? I'm pretty sure
correct.
that was the connection right there. But she raved about Health City, and that's that is the eldest daughter of the late Billy Graham, and then Franklin Graham, who's running Samaritan's Purse now. You see him on TV all the time. He is so Samaritan's Purse is a big deal, and I know that Health City was partnered with them in doing a lot of the heart surgeries for kids in like third world countries that are, you know, that don't have the proper health care. And I think Dr. Benoit's done several of those too. I think, right?
Definitely. So you did the job for me, Dr. Doug. So you're the Magic Johnson of PR. So you gave me a great kiss there, right? But definitely. So we would have made headway with Samaritan's Purse, Billy Graham's charitable organization, whereby they go into other countries and they make sure my computer's about to shut off. Let me tell it no. And they actually raise funds, and then obviously we give much discounted rates to them so that we can give back to the community. And we've actually had more than 1,000 surgeries, life-saving surgeries for kids that otherwise would go without. And we've seen kids from Mongolia and Fiji and Kenya and Bolivia and all over the globe. And even though we have other healthcare organizations that, you know, that are within our group, we would have said to them, but why don't you send them a little bit closer to where they are? And they're like, no. We've fallen in love with Health City. We've fallen in love with Dr. Benoit, and we've fallen in love with the entire team there, plus the international team and the host families that are here in the Cayman Islands. We want to send as many patients as possible to you. And the only thing that holds us back is the host families, because they believe in, and it's a part of their organization, and the way to go about it is to have host families that host the kids and the interpreters and the companions. So they can only do as much as we have host families, but they've done a great job getting many host families through the Baptist Church and other churches as well. And a big shout out to Mrs. Angela Martins, one of my first bosses at tourism, who also spearheads finding those families in order to make sure that we can see as many heart surgeries and save as many lives as possible as well.
Wonderful. All right. And finally, but most importantly, wow, this is coming up on the horizon.
That's right.
Later on this year, this was the groundbreaking ceremony for Cayman Bay Hospital. Yep. And it doesn't look like this anymore.
No, the Health City at Cayman Bay is almost there. You'll see it every time you pass, right before you get to Cayman Bay proper. And we look forward during the summer. We are going to have the official inauguration, and obviously Sandy and Dr. Doug, you all will be invited, as well as the majority of other individuals who would care to be there. We're going to have Dr. Shetty on island. We're going to obviously have our local dignitaries, and we look forward to that next chapter in year 10 of taking healthcare even further here in the Cayman Islands.
Absolutely amazing. And Shamari, will you ensure that I'm able to score an interview with Dr. Shetty?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
That's going to be a highlight of
that's
my
already
career.
Done. That's already done.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much to the amazing team at Health City Cayman Islands. Doug, thank you for joining us this morning and for sharing your testimony, because again, it's stories like yours and so many others that we've heard that really, physicians can toot their horn, although as you see from Dr. Benoit, he doesn't really do that, but it's the patients, it's experience that the patients have that really speaks volumes to what sort of facility this is. And it really is, it really is amazing. Wow. Thank you so much. And this person saying that their mom doesn't have health insurance, so they actually want to gift the health check to their mom. So that's amazing. So, Cayman Kind, people are always thinking about, I don't necessarily need it. I've got health insurance. I can come in and get that fee covered, but my mom doesn't have anything. And I know Shamari is always amazing. Shamari, can I just take a moment to highlight the amazing job that you do at Health City Cayman Islands. You guys have stepped up, and you do it silently. You don't care for people to necessarily know, but I think sometimes it's good to express appreciation for what people are doing. There were other situations where people have come to me for help, for financial help with their educations. There's one I'm thinking of, their educational paths, not even in the medical field. And although, that isn't traditionally, that they have their Explorers program, their scholarship program specific to medicine, Shamari said, listen, this young lady doing a great job with her studies, a single mom, has done her part, and she needed a little bit of fiscal assistance. Shamari stepped forward and got some funds together for her. So I just want to say, we really appreciate the amazing job that you guys do outside of, your official jobs, everything that you do in the community, the many, many ways in which you give back to the NPOs, to individuals. It just is really amazing is the only way to describe it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Just trying to do our part. All right. So, yeah.
Appreciate it. All right, folks. So that's another episode. I know we went into overtime, but hey, it's okay. I'm glad that Dr. Benoit didn't have to rush off to surgery, that he could stay with us.
No, I'm good.
Yes. So thank
you.
Again.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Doug.
Dr. Doug.
Thanks.
All right.
Yes. To Doug. Thank you so much, Doug. And of course, to Dr. Benoit as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandy, as always.
All righty. So, yes, good job. Shamari says, Park Journals. Thank you so much. Power Liking says, I want a bag and a cup. Please, Power, send me just WhatsApp me your information. I'm sure we can hook you up with that. Not to worry. And thank you, Ms. Dawn, and everybody else.